We're going to fix a garden sprayer that the handle came off. You can see that the threads are very dirty. We'll unscrew the hose from the bottle. With a pair of pliers, loosen everything up. You can see a lot of rust and corrosion in the entire assembly. Right now, no matter what you do, the threads are so dirty it will not thread together. We'll use 91% rubbing alcohol. Scrub the threads really good. Here you can see all the trash in the threads. Since the threads are plastic, we want to use a nylon brush to get everything cleaned out. You don't want to use anything too aggressive. We'll scrub out these threads as well. If we measure the threads, it's a 12 millimeter 1.5. We'll take a die and carefully clean up the threads. Because the threads are plastic, you can also use the tap and just very carefully clean the threads out. The threads at the top are damaged, so we're going to cut these back. Now they're cut back to where they're good. Even the gauge itself can be used to clean out these threads. We can use it to clean the threads on the inside here too. A metal nut the right size can also really help form those threads. Just make sure you get it on there nice and straight. Move it over the threads as much as you can by hand. If you need a little help, you can use a wrench, but be very careful. Here it is, completely bottomed out. Now we'll remove it. Now when we pull those threads off, they're almost perfect. The threads on this side are damaged too much, so we're going to have to reform the threads. Because the threads are polyethylene, we're going to need to use heat to reform the threads. Make sure the threads are perfectly straight and go ahead and start melting all of the outside plastic until it reaches the threads. In the past, I've been able to reform threads like this, but I'm not real happy with this, so I'm going to put the metal nut on instead. We're able to spin the nut on tight. The nut's screwed in really tight. There's a gap here, so we'll fill it with glue. When you pull the nut off, you can actually see threads in here. Epoxy glue will stick really good to the vinyl tube and the metal. Re-clean everything with rubbing alcohol again. Apply the glue onto both parts. We'll put glue on only the first thread. Now we can thread it together. Fill in the back with glue. Clean up the excess glue with some rubbing alcohol. We'll make sure there's none on the threads. With a few different attempts, we have a very solid connection. You can see it threads on really nice and secure. Now we've got a connection that feels really good. With everything all tightened up, we'll pump it up and see if it holds pressure. It's holding really nice, a lot of pressure. When I push this, you can hear the air hiss out. Now that we know it's holding pressure, we'll release the pressure and try it. We'll fill it up with some salt water. We'll use a rag to filter everything. We'll put it together, we'll pump it up, and we'll test everything. This high concentration of salt water does a really nice job killing the weeds. This section right in the middle I didn't spray at all because I wanted to see how effective it was. It's nice to have a working sprayer back.